This is the Jerry Hicks Show, your home for common sense content 5 nights a week, right here on the Censored Freedom Network. Now, here is your host, Jerry Hicks.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. It is Friday, February the 21st, 2025, and we're glad to have all of you guys here with us. We have, like every night, a ton of information to get into, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last show of the week before Sunday, so we'll try to make it as quick as possible. Before we get started, of course, quick shout out to everybody over on BitChute, YouTube, Rumble, X, and of course TikTok. TikTok, we're doing a little different. We can't put our full shows over on TikTok, so we're putting snippets and pieces over there, and hopefully everybody will come on over to these other platforms to see the entire show. So again, huge shout out to everybody across all those platforms. Remember, we are part of the Censored Freedom Network. That's right, folks. Check us out over on X. We appreciate that. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop on over to the news rack and see what we have waiting for us today. It looks like we've got the DOGE report to start out with. Folks, the DOGE report, of course, one of my favorite parts of the day. Today's contract update from the DOGE report: 95 cancellations of contracts with savings of $115 million more, with a ceiling value of $235 million. I'm not sure if that means all together or what that is, and somebody may need to explain that one to me. But these include 2 contracts, one for $265,000. Why did I click that? There we go. For food and nutrition services, 3-day leadership retreat in Atlanta. I mean, at least they kept that in the USA. I don't know how badly they needed that much for what they were doing, but at least they kept that money in America, right? Not to say for the next $30,000, though, that was used for a Malaysia study tour facilitation services. Number one, I have no idea what that even means. It looks like just a bunch of random words thrown together to sound important. But it was going to Malaysia, so there's no business of it even existing, because our money needs to stay in our borders. And again, I want to be clear, if there is catastrophes, if there's something majorly wrong, an earthquake, a hurricane, a tsunami, by all means, I completely understand the U.S. giving help, not giving the entire bank away. So let's hop back over here to DOGE real quick. The USGSA sold the old Webster School building in D.C. for $4,138,000. The building was acquired via condemnation in 2003, remained empty and boarded up ever since, and accrued $24 million of deferred maintenance and liabilities. I hope that they have taken care of this and gotten this building either in the midst of destruction or renovation, whichever needs to be done, because that's nothing more than a huge loss of money every single day that it sits. Speaking of loss of money, how about gaining money? Ladies and gentlemen, there's been this idea floating around of $5,000 DOGE dividend checks. And I got a couple things to say about it. Yesterday, we discussed the DOGE thing. And I went to looking on Grok over on X, and I asked it, based on the current projections from DOGE, if they were to give away checks right now from 20% of the findings to every taxpaying American, how much would that be? According to the Grok over there, it said that it would be about $68 per taxpayer if they were to do it right now. So they've got a long way to go if they intend to give a $5,000 dividend check to every American. Now, if they were to get the amount they were looking for, something like $2 trillion freed up from contracts, then absolutely a $5,000 dividend check would definitely be in the works. Now, I've got a couple questions about this, and again, I'm not an economist, so if I could have an economist actually take a look at this, that would be great. But if you have $5,000 dividend checks in everybody's pocket, if everybody has $5,000, is that going to change the way the economy runs? Does that put everything back to zero? Does prices go up because everybody has more money now? Because companies are trying to gouge and take as much of that money as they can? Right? Are we going to see, for instance, cars at a full $5,000, or, I don't know, milk at $10 a gallon? Because why not? You can afford it. You just got $5,000. It's yet to be seen. Now, as far as inflation goes, this is one that I also can't figure out. Again, if there's any economists that watch me, I would love to have your take on this. Because if we were printing money like Biden did with these stimulus checks, then that would absolutely cause much, much worse inflation. However, that's not what's going on, is it? This is money that we already had that was stolen from us by our government, right? Money that should have been in our pockets to begin with. And it's not being printed. It's already printed. It's already in circulation. So that definitely will not hurt inflation, in my opinion. But will it help the economy? Would this be a significant boost to the economy, a stimulus injection, if you will? Or could this horribly backfire and send the economy railing off the rails, basically? I don't know. Will everybody go out and spend it at Walmart or whatever various places? I don't know. Now, also with the tariffs that are going to be coming in for things, it will help offset the raise in prices of those things if you want to buy stuff that's not made in America. I don't know, folks. This is an interesting idea. Like I said, right now, being realistic, you would only get about $70 if they were to do it right now, or to do it this cycle, if you will. If we wait for about a year, once DOGE has really gone through and started cutting stuff off, then we would have a better chance of getting a higher amount of money as a dividend check from our government. But what do you guys think? I know Alaska does oil dividends to a certain amount. They seem to be doing quite okay. Their economy seems to be booming, right? So especially if I have any economists that watch me, I would love to know what you guys think. Parents could see up to $12,000 child tax refund under new bipartisan House bill. Republicans or Democrats are teaming up, which scares me every time because that's never ended well for me, to expand the child tax credit for parents. A bipartisan group of lawmakers has introduced a bill that would give parents up to $6,000 per child in expanded tax credits. Sorry, I got a little bit of phlegm in my throat tonight. Both the Republican and Democratic campaigns had called for an expanded child tax credit during the 2024 presidential race, where both sides attempted to make inroads for families struggling to afford care. The bipartisan bill would raise the threshold to $6,000 for one independent and $12,000 for two or more. I think this is a great idea. Families need the most help they can get right now, especially coming out of Joe Biden's economy. So I think this is an awesome idea. Give more money back to the American people, more money back to parents and families, and definitely encourage family growth in family households. So I think this is absolutely awesome. Go President Trump. That's my president right there. ICE director out amid reports Trump's unhappy with the pace of deportation. Acting ICE director Caleb Viteo has been removed from his position amid reports President Trump is unhappy with the pace of deportations, according to the Wall Street Journal. So take it with a grain of sand. The Wall Street Journal is a mocking stream media organization. Earlier this month, it was reported that President Trump and border czar Tom Homan were reportedly unhappy with the current number of deportations. Now, I don't like this word, border czar. We don't have czars in this country. Czar is from the Russians, all right? We have a border boss. We don't have a czar. I wish they would quit using that terminology. We're American. Anyway, with that little tangent said, according to a report by NBC, Trump and Homan were disappointed with the pace of deportations so far and demanded that Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, ramp up their operation, according to the Wall Street Journal. It says the acting director of U.S. Immigration and Customs, Caleb Patel, was removed from his post. Administration officials and other people familiar with the matter said. I love how they just say other people familiar with the matter. No names, no nothing. Just a random anonymous source said this, so it must be true, right? Again, mocking stream media take this story, ladies and gentlemen, with a deep grain of salt. Pam Bondi. Oh, I love this woman. Trump has got some of the best women I've ever seen in his administration. And ladies and gentlemen, am I the only one that have noticed that most, if not all, of his administration are Gen X? Folks, this country ain't ready. They ain't ready for us. We're about to hurt feelings, kick ass, and take names. This is game over because we have been waiting so long to get into these positions. Pam Bondi says the Epstein client list is sitting on her desk right now and being reviewed for release. This is huge, folks. She's also going to be releasing the FBI or the JFK, MLK, RFK files, anything that she has on that, as well as Kash Patel. Where's my Kash Patel story? I'm going to go ahead and move this story on up here. But when asked about it, she had said she has the Epstein client list sitting on her desk right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to learn who's on that list. And I'm willing to bet it's 3/4 of Hollywood and 2/3 of our politicians, if not more. Probably more like, 3/4 of our politicians, if not the 100%, right? Unfortunately, except Trump. Trump's probably the only one that hasn't been to the damned island. I hope Pam ain't been. That would be sad. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, she also, I am guaranteed, will be releasing the Diddy list when she has the opportunity. I'm so excited with this, folks. They are going to be revealing secrets left, right, and center. Stuff that the American people have been needing to know for a very long time. And I know she's ready for it. Speaking of ready for it, Kash Patel swore in today, and he made it clear he was ready for it.
To the senators and the men and women of the United States House of Representatives, you placed an enormous trust in me, an enormous leap of faith. One that I didn't know that I could possibly earn back, but I'm going to spend every single day on this job doing so. The fact that you placed the confidence you did in me has inspired me to reach new heights at this job. I promise you the following. There will be accountability within the FBI and outside of the FBI, and we will do it through rigorous constitutional oversight starting this weekend.
Yeah. Woo-hoo, that's what I'm talking about. There will be accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, we need accountability in this country. People need to pay for what they have done to this country. So very well.
This is great. We all used to live in the same freaking house. Yeah, I don't have any prepared remarks. I wish I could go around the room and...
Well, that's okay, because that's the part I wanted to hear, and that's the part I wanted you guys to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, Kash Patel has made it clear. There will be accountability. There will be prices to pay for what has been done. Former Proud Boys leader arrested for assault of protester at celebration for J6 pardon. So this seems to me, ladies and gentlemen, like a setup if I've ever heard it. Former Proud Boy, who was pardoned for his actions at J6 Capitol rioting, was arrested for an assault on a protester during celebrations of the pardon. Video captured the moment. I don't think we have the video here. We do not. So hopefully we can find that video and bring it to you guys sometime next week. Video captured the moment Enrique Tarrio was confronted by a woman who was shoving her cell phone in his face. So she was up in his face, being rude, shoving a cell phone in his face, not quite touching him. He reacted by slapping the phone out of her hand, and Capitol Police swooped in quickly to arrest him. So I'm torn on this one. It seems to me like he was prodded into doing this. He finally had enough and just swung out at her. He did hit the cell phone out of her hand, which is assault technically. Now, again, I think this was absolutely a setup. Just try to get him hemmed up. Maybe I'm wrong. That's my opinion. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. I'm sure you guys expect nothing less from me. But this just don't seem right. The police allowed the agitation, said one of the people on scene, Biggs, one of the people on the scene. And then once the agitators got their way, they arrested Tarrio. So this will be a story we will be following, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned to the Censored Freedom Network and the Jerry Hicks Show for further details as we get them. Target finds itself in hot water after letting DEI creep in. Florida files suit. So Target can't win, ladies and gentlemen. Target just can't win. No matter what way they go, they are screwed. You see, if they go with the DEI like their corporate masters want them to, then nobody wants to shop at their store. If they don't go with the DEI like, the general public wants to, the other side won't shop at their stores. So they're torn between two evils. Now they've made a big mistake. Florida General James Utmeyer has a plan to go after Target, alleging its business practices hurt the state's retirement fund. Not good. Said while Target told their investors they would keep the company out of controversy to protect the stock price, the retailer engaged in a marketing campaign targeting and sexualizing children. You'll remember Target promoted rainbow sport bras for boys, children's swimsuits with transgender features, and books for kids that asked them to question their biological reality, which is all brainwashing and stuff that we don't need to be doing to our kids. I'm trying not to cuss if you can tell. It pisses me off when they start messing with kids, and I don't know anybody who it wouldn't. Well, I'm sure there are those out there. Clearly, Target, right? This radical campaign predictably caused Target's stock price to plummet, wiping out $10 billion in market value in just 10 days. Goes to show how strong we are, ladies and gentlemen. We did that. And those losses put the retirement accounts of Florida's teachers and first responders at unacceptable risk. Our public servants should not suffer diminished retirement security because companies focused on leftist virtue signaling rather than shareholder returns. Folks, we need to go after all of these companies that tried to do this. I haven't had a Reese's in years. Quite a few years. Ever since Hershey's decided to do the her and she bar, the pronoun bars, Reese's is owned by Hershey's. I won't eat any Hershey's products now. Why? Because I'm not going to spend my money with that company. If you can't vote with your regular vote, which thank God it worked this time, what you can vote with, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to these companies is your dollar, as we proved with Target. You vote with your dollar. Where you put that depends on who stays in business and who does not. Enough of us decide to go against the company. We've seen what happened to Bud Light. We've seen what happened to Target. We know what happens when we push back against these companies. Now, maybe Hershey's won't go out of business just because I'm not buying from them, but maybe enough of us can do this to where it will hurt the overall price, for instance, of Hershey's. I haven't had one in years because I stand on what I believe. I'm a man of principle. I don't shop at Target. I stand on what I believe. Well, I bet you shop at Walmart very, very rarely. If I can help it, no, I do not. And here, as the next couple years go, a lot of you folks are going to probably end up stop shopping at Walmart because most, if not all, of Walmart has is Chinese import stuff. That's it. So everything in every Walmart is about to go up. I would suggest you find a more American-styled store if I were you. Out of juice, only 5% of U.S. car buyers want an electric vehicle. I'll tell you, I don't want an electric vehicle. I don't have any purpose for an electric vehicle. Now, yes, I understand they save a lot of money. I've got 2 family members that have electric vehicles, and they love them. And that's awesome. But I don't want any vehicle, especially considering what I do and the things I talk about, that can be turned off at the flip of a switch, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want any vehicle that somebody can hack into and decide when and where I'm driving. Now, soon I'm not going to be able to avoid that, right? Any new car anymore is going to have these features, unfortunately. And they're hard as hell to work on. You need a whole new breed of mechanic to even work on these things. 5% of U.S. car buyers are the only ones who actually want one of these vehicles. That's not a lot, folks. I can see why some of these electronic car companies are going out of business, because nobody wants these products. This is how the free market should work. People decide in the free market. President Trump said it's not important that Zelensky be involved with peace talks. Said it makes it very hard to make deals. And he does. He don't want freedom. Peace. He don't want freedom either. He's a friggin' dictator. But he don't want peace. And Trump made it very clear he don't need him there to stop things.
But look what you have. You have a man who's led a country that had the most beautiful cities.
Am I the only one that thinks Trump sounds a little stuffed up, like he might have a little cold or something going on?
Demolished, had the most beautiful domes. Those domes are the most beautiful.
But it's
in
all
the world.
Russia's. But that's Russia's fault, though, Mr. President. Russia
They're
did
all demolished. 1,000-year-old domes, and everything's demolished. I mean, it's like a demolition site, though. It's sort of like Gaza. In fact, it's more. At least Gaza has a couple of buildings standing.
Right.
I mean, this place. You take a look at the demolition of so many of those cities, and and all those people are killed, never to come back again.
But Mr. President, that's all. That's Vladimir Putin's fault. Don't you agree?
I get tired of listening to it. I'll tell you what. I've seen it enough. And then he complains that he's not at a meeting that we're having with Saudi Arabia.
Talking about Zelensky.
Trying to intermediate a peace. Well, he's been at meetings for 3 years with with a president who didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Truth. He's
been in the meetings for 3 years, and nothing got done. So I don't think he's very important to be at meetings, to be honest with you. He's been there for 3 years. He makes it very hard to make deals. But look what's happened to his country. It's been demolished.
But no, I hear you.
But
Mr. President, you know who's to blame for that.
That's Vladimir.
But don't you think it's Vladimir Putin that did the invasion unwarranted to try to take back land he had no right to? And don't you think fundamentally that's that? And if you could just get now both sides want to talk, it seems. So we should just get to that point.
They only want to.
So that's all we have of that, ladies and gentlemen. But there you go, straight from the mouth of Trump himself. That was him with Brian Kilmeade. Of course, Brian Kilmeade, another mocking stream media propagandist, in my opinion. President Trump completely destroys far-left Maine governor when she tells him that her state will defy his executive order barring men from playing women's sports. Once again, President Trump.
But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
She said, I'm complying with state and federal laws.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it.
Savage.
But you better do it because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one.
I'll see you in court, she said. Yeah, I don't think you're going to win the argument to allow men to play in women's sports. I really don't think that's constitutional, folks. She may lose that.
And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics. Every state has a responsibility to comply with Title IX.
Yep.
You have an obligation, a legal obligation.
Remember, that's the same thing that Biden used to try to start all this garbage with the TGs in school.
And we'll be enforcing aggressively, and we're going to be protecting our citizens. We're going to protect. But I understand
there
Maine.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, going to protect. And he went straight at her. That's why I love Trump, because he's not going to play around. He's not going to pull punches. He will tell you what's going to happen, and you either accept it or fight against it, which is never going to end well for you. As we've seen over and over and over. This man has been hit with everything that both the mocking stream media and the Democrats themselves could come up with, and the man just stood tall and is now our president once again. You can see how clearly it didn't work. Coming to us from Just the News, ladies and gentlemen, Trump offers endorsement to GOP rep Byron Donalds if he runs for Florida governor. I think he would make a great governor, right? I like Byron Donalds. I think he does an amazing job. I've seen a lot of his questioning whatnot in Congress, and I think he does absolutely awesome work. So Byron Donalds may be up for governorship of Florida. Keep your eye out for that. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we're ending early tonight, surprisingly enough. We haven't gone as long as usual. Top Pennsylvania Democrats charged with election fraud. Folks, that's right. 3 officials from the Democrat Party in Pennsylvania have been indicted for conspiring to unlawfully manipulate elections by illegally adding individuals to voter rolls. We said this was going on in other states too. Now we have evidence of it here in PA. Vice President of the Borough of Melbourne Council, MD Nurul Hassan, Councilmember MD Munsar Ali, and former council member MD Rafiqul Islam. Yeah, I know. I was wondering if we're still in America with this too, if this is Pennsylvania in America. It is. Were each charged with the 16 counts of election fraud for falsifying voter registrations. 3 Democrats, all of Bangladeshi origin, used an online voter registration portal to artificially inflate voter rolls in an effort to win borough council seats during a 2021 local primary election. The irony? They lost anyway. But not only did they lose, ladies and gentlemen, they lost with warrants. They lost with getting caught in the same time. I don't know how I'm trying to say this. I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't know the best wording for it. We're going to go ahead over here and pull up our different channels and show you guys real quick, since we've got a couple extra minutes here. We've got the Jerry Hicks Show channel over here on YouTube. That's the quickest, easiest, and most accessible way. We've got our big winner over here every day, our BitChute channel. You guys are killing it over here on the BitChute, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys would hit the subscribe button over here, that would be absolutely awesome. We're getting a lot of views, but not as many views as subscribers. So make sure you go ahead and sub that up real quick over there, folks. The old Rippin' Rabbit Hole site we used to be a part of. Let's see if we can check our channel over here. Let's see. Jerry Hicks Show. Forgot the W there. There we go, the Jerry Hicks Show. We got the Jerry Hicks Show over here on the Rumble, ladies and gentlemen, over here on Rumble. Make sure you check us out over here. And last but not least, of course, we are over at Censored Freedom on the X platform, where we also put our shows up every morning. If this will pull up real quick. See, this was supposed to be a lot smoother than it was. I had this idea right off the top, so I'm not surprised it wasn't super smooth. Here we go. Now we're actually loading in Censored Freedom Network, ladies and gentlemen, over here on X. Go ahead and hop on over. Give us a follow. We post our show there, as you see, every single day. So BitChute, X, Rumble, YouTube. Did I forget anything? TikTok. All of them, ladies and gentlemen, come on over. Check us out on all these channels. We would love to have you guys hanging out with us. I believe that's all I really had for tonight. We will be on Censored Freedom on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, with CD Spivey, so make sure you are looking out for that. And with that said, folks, my name's Jerry Hicks. This has been the Jerry Hicks Show. And remember, until next we meet, ladies and gentlemen, stay awake, but dare to dream. Stand strong, patriots.